Alright, thank you very much for clicking on the video. This is Gulpain, and this is a quick review of Ace Combat 10, which I purchased on eBay for £9, which I thought was a pretty good price, a few weeks ago. And I was playing it, and I'm just going to give my thoughts on what I thought about it here. So this game was developed by Access Games and published by Namco Bandai, but in Europe, because as it says on the front of my box, it says Sony Computer Entertainment Europe. So Ace Combat, pretty good series. I remember playing it like years ago. I don't remember if it was for the PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 1 or what game it was, but I remember playing Ace Combat years ago and I really liked it. I liked the sort of the behind the plane, the third person plane view, the behind the shoulder of the plane or behind the wing of the plane view, and sort of like, you know, getting into dogfights and doing the 360 and the, I don't know what you call it, like, I have no idea, the plane terminology for this. It's where the plane goes upside down, and then when your view sort of changes, you know, you're looking upside down at the water or the terrain, and it's quite disorientating, but yeah, still really good. So Afterburner was the one on the arcade, which was sort of like very, you know, a very arcadey style of game, obviously because it's an arcade, and it's kind of difficult to describe like what an arcade style of game is in general. I kind of find it as like an arcade style is like unrealistic, not really, you know, physics based, or kind of relative to reality physics based, and sort of like, you know, like an arcade driving game would be like you can smash off the side of a barrier and you can just keep driving, or, you know, you're playing your car or your plane explodes and then like 3 seconds later it's back on the track or back on the you know, back ready for action. Whereas this one seems to be kind of more realistic, or semi-realistic anyway, you know, as opposed to like an arcadey style of game. So there's a few different views you can go with. It defaults to the game defaults to the first person view, like not the cockpit, just the first person view, where you just look at the you just kind of see like what's in front of you and what's in front of the plane. And there's various different you know, stuff on the heads up display, like how fast you're going and what your altitude is, and you can kind of keep an eye on how far away the enemy combatants are, or the enemy planes, or you know, if there's targets on the ground, you can see how far they're away as well. So once you get used to the orientation of the way you kind of go around, it's a lot easier to actually traverse the game, or the game it's very easy to fly around. I found myself using when I was first playing the game, I didn't use the kind of, you know, like in Resident Evil when you press like down in circle, where you can kind of do a 180. I wasn't using that much. I was kind of turning, so I found it very disorientating at the start to actually try and fly around without using, kind of doing this here, kind of, you know, going all the way around and turning the plane around so as you're upside down, and then having to reorientate. I found that very difficult at the start, but I kind of got used to it after a while. I don't think you don't actually have to do it. You can comfortably do the game by just using by turning around left and right, as opposed to going upside down. I'm not explaining that very well, but it's like so what I'm doing here is I'm flying vertically in order to turn around, as opposed to going upside down. So, but yeah, after a while you kind of get used to it, and you know, it's when you're in dogfights and stuff, or when you have to quickly attack an enemy plane and then they kind of fly past you, it's actually, you kind of get used to it. But initially it's quite disorientating. So, and then the second view then is the cockpit view. So I don't like the cockpit view because it obscures too much of the real estate on the screen. The cockpit view is okay. I imagine if you were sort of in the military or you're used to flying planes, then the cockpit view would be the view for you, because that would be the one that you would be most associated with, like really flying the planes. But yeah, my favorite view, or the view I like, is the third person view here behind the plane. So that kind of, I don't know, it makes it a bit more arcadey, or a bit more sort of like, I find first person views in video games, they just make me feel nauseous and stuff. I know that doesn't happen to a lot of people, because most people, like, you know, they love Call of Duty and all those first person shooter games, but it just makes me feel, I don't know, it feels weird. So I'd rather like the third person view on games, which is why I like when there's a choice between first person and third person, like in Fallout or different games like that. They don't just lock you into one view. This one here as well gives you 3 different views, which is really good. It's kind of a bit hidden though in the menus to change the views. So I don't know why they don't do it like a, you know, like a racing game where you just like push one button to like a dedicated button to change views. But anyway, Ace Combat Skies the Deception, really good game. Would totally check it out. Would recommend it for any, you know, like flight enthusiast or just kind of casual gamer as well. So thanks very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.